right here in the heart of Hickory, North Carolina. We bring to you round number 5 of the Elite Seniors Racing Championship Asphalt Touring Series right here on the DRN. I am your host, Tim Dayton. We are happy to bring you official coverage here tonight of tonight's proceedings. 100 laps on tap for tonight's feature event, Retro Night here at the races at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Currently 18 cars on the property, as we will stand at trackside for tonight's national anthem, sang by Simon Adams.
The perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Team Holloway Racing Graphics is your one-stop vinyl shop. We specialize in RC racing of all scales. We do full-size race cars as well. Have a sign that needs done, vehicles lettered, we can do it. PT Speed Shop. We rebuild quarter-scale motors, break them in, dyno them, and get you back to victory lane. We have a parts store opening soon. Check it out at ptspeedshop.com. Check us out at teamholloway.com. We would love to take care of your vinyl needs.
As a big thank you to Simon Adams for singing tonight's national anthem. As I will quickly step aside. 8 minutes left in practice, and let you fans enjoy some on-track action here tonight on the DRN. As we are currently looking at the '01 machine, that beautiful Miller High Life paint job, sported by Ed Papineau here tonight. Of course, $10 put up by TDR Media here tonight for the best retro paint scheme here on ESRC Retro Night, which will be announced after the race. So whoever has the best retro paint scheme here tonight gets $10. Of course, brought to you by TDR Media. Take a look at Scott King Swan here on the raceway. Same paint scheme as he always runs. Beautiful paint scheme supported by that driver out of Madison, Wisconsin. And the King Audio MRI Morrison Racing Incorporated Ho-Chunk Gaming Beloit left-hander performance number 155 for Scott King Swan. King Swan been somewhat consistent the last couple weeks. So trying to keep his momentum going a little bit. Had a rough start to the season so far. Of course, we're in race number 5, halfway through the season this week. As he is currently way down in the points, actually. Currently 16th in points. Speaking of points, the battle for the point lead only separated by 1 point here tonight between Keith Kincaid and Brett McCoy for the points lead here in tonight's feature event. Of course, Rob Cassidy in the number 68 machine, running a Dale Jr. throwback here in tonight's feature. A guy we haven't really talked about this season in his first start of the year. In the Team Holloway Racing and Graphics PT Speed Shop number 2 machine, it's going to be Todd Holloway himself. The Todd father, if you will, in that beautiful number 2 Team Holloway Racing and Graphics machine out of Indiana. Yorktown, Indiana, to be exact. Another guy we're looking at tonight, paint scheme-wise, Chris Reinald, out of Hamilton, Ontario. In the Glenn Stiers Racing, Oshwegan Speedway, G-Force TV, Ed Carlin Motorsports, Victory Sim Racing number 71 machine, sporting a beautiful retro throwback here tonight for that number 71 machine. Great look as it comes down the front stretch. Currently on the pole at the moment is Brett McCoy with a 14.515. Just behind him with a 14.561 is Kincaid. Speaking about Kincaid here tonight in a Darrell Waltrip throwback on the raceway. You can take a good look at it there. Have the new ESRC contingencies up top on the banner. Another guy in a beautiful throwback scheme as he spins it on the front straightaway. But Tim McDowell in the number 45 machine. Paul Covington coming to a stop in the number 95 Team Holloway Racing and Graphics. Oh no, he's actually going to go and follow Todd around the racetrack here early on in tonight's practice session. Just under 3 minutes left of practice. Todd out of Muncie, Indiana, in the Team Holloway Racing and Graphics PT Speed Shop number 95 machine. There's another guy here tonight, the General Andy Patton out of Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. In the Patton Triple X Tire Shine, A&J Custom Creations, Checkered Flag, RC Track, Tipsy Tim's Distillery number 28 here tonight, normally the 87. Running a Davey Allison late model stock here tonight. Getting a little loose out of turn number 2. Hits the wall, almost tags Kincaid. And Kincaid going to go to the pits as well. So, interesting thing. We were going to take a quick break right here on the DRN. We will be right back after this.
Team Holloway Racing Graphics is your one-stop vinyl shop. We specialize in RC racing of all scales. We do full-size race cars as well. Have a sign that needs done? Vehicles lettered? We can do it. PT Speed Shop. We rebuild quarter-scale motors, break them in, dyno them, and get you back to victory lane. We have a parts store opening soon. Check it out at ptspeedshop.com. Check us out at teamholloway.com. We would love to take care of your vinyl needs.
We're back right here on the DRN. Great look from the back of Chris Farmer's number 31 machine. A beautiful throwback paint scheme here, as well as practice is over here on the raceway. Going to get right into qualifying here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. 2 laps to decide their qualifying times. And coming out for his first time lap, a guy we really haven't talked about much tonight, out of Poplar Grove, Illinois, in the Finnegan's RV Nielsen Racing left-hander chassis, Rapco Brakes All Car Automotive, Pennzoil number 1 here tonight. It's going to be Brett McCoy. Brett, the last time we saw him was at Iowa. Going to start his first lap here on the raceway. Lap number 1, currently Ed Papineau on the pole with a 14.651. It looks like Brett, top of the board, 14.559, 14.559 for Brett McCoy. Bob Belshaw in the Coors Light sponsored number 44, looking like a Dick Trickle throwback paint scheme here tonight. Currently 4th quick with a 14.687. 14.687 for Bob Belshaw. As Holloway only goes P7 at the moment. As Frank Barbary, a scheme we haven't looked at tonight, in that beautiful number 26. In the RKM Setup Shop Fastlane Motorsports, number 26 out of Daytona, Florida, it is Frank Barbary. Frank's had some good runs this season. It's really been his year so far when it comes to Asphalt and the Elite Seniors Racing Championship. And it's great to have him here tonight in that beautiful number 26 machine. Hitting the chip as he heads into turn number 1. Riding on board for lap number 2. Keith Kincaid currently second on the board, 14.595. Getting a little loose there is Frank. I believe that will be his final time of the night. 14.788 for Frank Barbary. And that will put him 3rd on the board for tonight's feature event. I believe he is the last car to qualify for Retro Night. Was Tim McDowell on the raceway. The 18 cars strong in tonight's feature. As let's take a quick look at our upcoming events here on the DRN. August 10th, this coming Monday night, next week, Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee for the Elite Seniors Racing Championship Dirt Late Model Tour. Coverage of that will begin at 8:15 Eastern Time on Monday evening. Then we head August 12th to the Martinsville Speedway in Martinsville, Virginia for the Elite Asphalt Touring Series, round number 6 at the Martinsville Speedway. Then that following Monday, August 17th, we are back on the Dirt Late Model Tour with Lucas Oil Speedway, August 17th. August 19th, that following Wednesday, we go to the North Wilkesboro Speedway for the Elite Asphalt Touring Series, race number 7 of the schedule. Then race number 8 of the Dirt Late Model Tour schedule at the I-55 Speedway, a track I personally have never been to on the sim before. Should be some fun. And of course, rounding out round number 8 of the Touring Series season. Of course, 2 more weeks after that. But the Five Flag Speedway for the Elite Asphalt Touring Series season. More to come on the upcoming schedule, including the Kings Modified Series coming up in October, among many other things here when it comes to the DRN. Stay tuned. As, of course, if you would like to join the Elite Seniors Racing Championship, if you are 50 plus, visit www.racemrl.com/ESRC. That is www.racemrl.com/ESRC for more information. Not sure if Ossier is going to qualify here tonight. Don't see him out on the raceway to take time. As lining up for our feature event, we will take you through your starting lineup. Row number 1 brings you that beautiful Steve Park tribute Pennzoil paint scheme alongside Keith Kincaid. Row number 2 in the RKM Setup Shop Fastlane Motorsports number 26 machine, that beautiful throwback for Frank Barbary, alongside Ed Papineau in that beautiful Miller High Life number 01 machine. Row number 3 brings you Chris Farmer alongside Bob Belshaw in the Dick Trickle late model stock paint scheme number 44 tonight. Row number 4, Greg Parmalee in that beautiful 04 machine alongside Scott Kingswad. Row number 5 brings you that beautiful red and white machine, the Glenn Stiers Racing, Oshweekend Speedway, GeForce TV, Ed Carley Motorsports, Victory Lane Sim Racing, number 71 for Chris Reinald, alongside the Team Holloway Racing and Graphics, number 2 machine for Todd Holloway, the Todd father. Row number 6 brings you Tim McDowell in the TDR Media, Tipsy Tim's, Checkered Flag Raceway, Checkered Flag Cafe, Patton's Triple X, Moza by Tice, Slackamo Racing, number 45 for Tim McDowell, alongside Ben Gunther. Row number 7 brings you a newcomer to the DRN broadcast, Paul Covington, alongside Rob Cassidy in that beautiful Dale Earnhardt Jr. late model paint scheme. Row number 8 brings you Quinn McLean, a late entry to the field, alongside Chris Hall. And row number 9, the final row on the field here tonight, Mark Ossier alongside Andy Patton. And that is your starting lineup for tonight's feature event. 18 cars on the property, ready to go. Let them loose for 100 laps here in the late model stock cars. Doubled up this time by looking to take the green flag. Green flag in the air for race number 5. As they head into turns number 1 and 2, Keith Kincaid and Brett McCoy lead them 2, 3, and 4 for the first time. McCoy going to lead lap number 1 of Retro Night here at Hickory. Kincaid just slightly behind, 3/10 behind your leader, Brett McCoy. As we have a side-by-side battle for that 4th position on the raceway, Ed Papineau and Bob Belshaw battle it out on lap number 3, side-by-side as they head out of turn number 2 onto the back straightaway. Still side-by-side into 3 and 4. All the way around those two go for position number 4. Or I'm sorry, position number 5 and 6 on the raceway at the moment. Todd Holloway passes Chris Reinald for position here. As Belshaw finally got past Chris Farmer on the racetrack. Marbury in the 26, currently in 3rd. Ed Papineau in 4th. Lap number 7 ticks off. As we head to lap number 8. Kincaid and McCoy, still the class of the field here early on in this one. As Barbary has some issues there. Not sure if he will rejoin the field or not. It looks like he is going to the back. Some internet issues might have plagued the 26 car here tonight, but nice to see Barbary out. Unfortunate for that number 26 machine, currently out of the race, scored 18th position, lap number 9. Unfortunate. As a battle for the 13th spot, or I'm sorry, for the 12th spot on the raceway between Paul Covington and Scott Kingswan at the moment. Is Kingswan making up some ground, and a yellow flag on the racetrack. Big crash in turn number 4. Rob Cassidy. Ooh, who is that? I believe that's Ben Gunther in the number 55 machine. Brought out tonight's caution to bring out your first caution of the evening. Started 12th on tonight's feature event. Whoa! As not what he wanted to see here tonight. Of course, heavy right front damage on that number 55 for Gunther. Let's take a quick look at how that crash happened. And of course, Rob Cassidy has some damage as well. Let's take a look. As the Artie Ranch replay, Gunther just goes into the corner. Rob taps him a little bit. They both go around it. Ooh, light tap for the 39 machine. Tim McDowell unfortunately involved. As yeah, unfortunate events for that 55 and the 39. Not what they wanted to see. I know that for sure tonight. We thank Artie Ranch for sponsoring tonight's replay at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Only lap number 11 brought out the early caution. In tonight's feature event, Brett McCoy, still your leader. Keith Kincaid in position number 2, Ed Papineau 3rd, Bob Belshaw in 4th as they pull down the pit lane. Pace car dives down pit road. Has green flag back in the air for the field. As they dive into 1 and 2. Kincaid and Brett McCoy currently lead the field at the moment. Lap number 19 on the board, or 18 on the board, I should say. 19 starts out here. Gunther and Kingswan both 2 laps down and 1 lap down respectively. Here, unfortunate for those 2 cars early in tonight's feature event. As Parmalee gets sideways under Bob Belshaw, Reinald looks to do the same and get under that 44 machine. There's a lot of beautiful looking cars tonight. That 04 especially is one of those cars. A single file in the top four. Here, Belshaw and Parmalee are the battle currently on the raceway. Chris Reinald and Todd Holloway just behind them as well. Holloway in that beautiful Team Holloway Racing and Graphics number 2 machine. As Parmalee and Belshaw are crawling in closer to the number 31 of Chris Farmer. And just in front of them is Ed Papineau, Keith Kincaid, and Brett McCoy. Brett currently 6/10 away ahead of Keith Kincaid at the moment. As you can see that gap. Ooh, got a little close to the wall on corner exit there. Gonna keep it off the wall, thankfully. Here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Of course, like I said, TDR Media sponsors tonight's retro paint scheme $10 best looking paint scheme award here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Of course. Big thank you to TDR Media for that, as Rob Cassidy and Tim McDowell battle for the 13th spot on the raceway. Quinlan McLean just in front of them. Oh, Cassidy gets a little sideways, brings out another wreck. Unfortunate for those two cars. Rob, just not his night tonight. As we were right on that battle there. Cassidy in the 39 car. Just unfortunate for those two. As McDowell has gained his position back, but heavy left front damage on that machine. Well, just a little bit on that quarter panel. As Brett McCoy comes down pit road early on. Here, maybe to take tires. Not too sure. Yes, he will. Taking right sides on that machine, on that Pennzoil number 1 machine. Only right sides here. They chew them up and spit them out here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. As let's take a quick look back at what brought out your yellow here, presented by RD Ranch. As yeah, I mean, we kind of saw it on the replay. They were behind Quinn, and maybe Quinn checked up just a little bit. No, they just made contact, and Tim was unfortunately the only car that was really involved in that. Go back a little bit here. I'm going to take a look on the onboard of that number 39 machine. Got down a little low. Maybe Tim just wasn't expecting him to be there, and they met in the middle. Unfortunate for those two. Brett McCoy currently cycles out to the 10th spot on the raceway. Keith Kincaid, your leader at the moment. Pace car pulls down the pit lane. And we are going to have a restart. Here, a green flag back in the air. Kincaid leads them down lap number 34. As Belshaw and Farmer fight for that third spot, Greg Parmalee suddenly in the picture. Meanwhile, behind them, Todd Holloway, Chris Reinald, Brett McCoy, and Tim McDowell. McDowell goes 2 laps down here. They had to go through and pass all those lap cars there. Meanwhile, Greg Parmalee, Chris Reinald. Oh, around goes the 04. Holloway with some great driving on the part of that number 2 machine. As Parmalee spins it out in turn number 4 and brings out your third caution of tonight's feature event. Lap number 35, excuse me, to bring out your third caution of tonight's feature event. Tim McDowell, I believe, was just down the pit lane fixing damage. Let's take a quick look at that yellow. And honestly, it looks like the two maybe got to go. Big door. And then Parmalee just loses it in 3 and 4. And Holloway, what a save. Let's take a look at Holloway's save there. Because heck of a driving there by the 2 machine to miss Parmalee. Yeah, ooh, whoa! Heck of a save from the number 2 of Todd Holloway. Doesn't seem like he has really much damage, to be honest with you. But, I mean, good for Todd here. Currently running in the 7th position on the racetrack. Brett McCoy just in front of him in the 6th spot. Papineau and Kincaid lead the field to the green flag once again. Starter in the starter stand. They light him up. Green flag back in the air. Lap number 40 on the board as they head into turns 1 and 2. As Chris Reinald goes to the inside of Bob Belshaw for that 4th position on the racetrack. Brett McCoy just behind him. Quickly, let's ride along with Brett McCoy, and the yellow flag is out just before we're able to do so. Andy Patton in the number 28 Davey Allison throwback paint scheme brings out your 4th caution of tonight's feature event. Seems like he was by himself. Let's take a look. Oh, got into the back of Chris Hall a little bit there and just, spun it out on the inside of the racetrack, and there's nothing he could really do. Unfortunate for that 28 car. He was having a pretty good night tonight at the moment, and just not what he was looking for in that 4 machine. I'm sorry, in the 28 machine. As rejoins towards the back of the field. Only car out is in position number 18, Frank Barbary. Only made a handful of laps, was running in 3rd before connection issues cost him his night. As Rob Cassidy exits the pit lane in the number 39 machine back on the lead lap at the current moment. I'm sorry, he is 1 lap down. Currently the first car a lap down, I believe. If not, it's Scott Kingswan in that number 155. Currently leaving the pit lane. And no, Kingswan is on the lead lap here for tonight's feature. As pace car lights are out on the iRacing pace car to bring you back to green here. Almost halfway in tonight's retro night right here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Coming back to the green flag. They light him up once again. Green flag back in the air. As Ben Gunther on the inside, going a lap down here. Going another lap down, and the 01 in the wall. As I believe, yes, there it is. The ticker and caution is out. Rob Cassidy once again brings out a yellow on the raceway. Not sure if he was involved with anybody there. Tim McDowell right behind him on the racetrack. Let's take another look at yet another caution. Caution number 5 here in tonight's feature event. He was racing with Chris Hall. And, Brett McCoy had some trouble there. But that was not the caution. It was the stack up that happened as well. Unfortunate for Brett McCoy. Was running pretty good in the third spot up until that point. Just unfortunate, currently sitting position number 9. After starting his night pretty good on the pole for tonight's feature. Currently sitting just inside the top 10 at the moment. Fifth caution of tonight's event, and I believe we are doubling up this time by 1 lap to go. Under pacing, iRacing pace car lights are off. Field doubles up in on the front straightaway, coming around 3 and 4. Once again here on the raceway. As we come back to the green flag, lap number 52 in the book. Keith Kincaid out to a solid lead, but the battle is currently for second spot. Chris Reinald, Chris Farmer, the battle of the two Chris's here for that second position. Paul Covington racks up P number 4. Todd Holloway just behind him in position number 5 as Tim McDowell off the racetrack, and another caution is out. Looks like Brett McCoy once again off the racetrack. That was probably the yellow car that I saw. Just no luck here tonight for Brett. Horrible luck for that one machine. But still in the lead lap, so I guess that's a good thing for that one car. Let's take another look at what happened. Oh, got into Parmalee and spun it out a little there. Very unlike Brett McCoy. As while we have it, we're going to take a short commercial break right here on the DRN. Stay with us. As a big thank you to the Misfit Racing League for, of course, hosting this series along with their league partnership program, along with King's Modified Tour and a lot of other leagues starting towards the fall. Visit www.racemrl.com. Get your signups in for those series. Of course, King's Mod being broadcast right here on the DRN in October, in the month of October through December. Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. And it should be a fun one for that series, as we're going to light them up once again. Green flag back in the air for the late model stocks. Lap number 59, going into lap number 60. There's a big chunk of cars back there. Todd Holloway right in front of Greg Parmalee, who's battling with Quinn McLean. As, getting tight off the corner a little bit there. 3 wide. Brett McCoy makes it to take that spot away. Brett knows he has to get to Kincaid. Past halfway here in tonight's feature event, as Bob Belshaw and Ed Papino fighting for the final spot in the top 10. For the 9th spot, not the 10th spot. But as Brett McCoy looks to the inside of Quinn McLean here, as we get to lap number 63. But Chris Reinald right on the back bumper of Kincaid. As we get to 63. Looks low a little bit there. As McCoy charging his way through the field right now. Looking to the inside of Quinn McLean. Not going to get it done. Oh, turns him. A huge wreck for Brett McCoy. Quinn McLean involved. those two, just not his night tonight for Brett McCoy. And it looks like that will be all she wrote for that number one machine here on Retro Night here at Hickory Motor Speedway. Smoking out the back of that machine. Been involved in 3 separate incidents tonight, very unlike the number one machine, as Quinn McLean heads down the pit lane in that 21 machine out of Chanhassen, Minnesota, in the 21 Race Graphics J-Max Speed Shot Smoke Train Racing number 21. Missed his pit box there, but he's okay. Andy Patton also down the pit lane. Was on the lead lap, got back on the lead lap there, and is currently sitting on the pit lane. Mark in the 20 car currently rounds out the lead lap cars, I believe. Oh no, he is a lap down. I apologize. Andy Patton pulls off the pit lane. And rejoins the field. Currently a lap down. Quinn McLean, I believe, is going to be a few laps down here in the 21 machine. As Gunther 3 laps down at the moment. Tim McDowell 2 laps down. But let's take a look back at the crash that brought out your caution. Just quickly, they were side by side on the back straightaway going into 3 and 4. Brett looked to make the pass, sent it a little deep. Got hooked on the left front of the number 21 machine, and just unfortunate, man, for Brett. As green flag back in the air, I apologize. Looking at the replays a little bit there. As Keith Kincaid leads the field back to the green flag, lap number 69, going into lap number 70 here. Chris Reinald pounding him on the back bumper for the first spot at the moment. Reinald looking to finally break out of his shell this season and have a good night. He definitely needs it. As Greg Parmalee and Ed Papineau battle for the 6th position on the raceway. There's Brett McCoy on the pit lane at the moment. Chris Reinald and Keith Kincaid go back at it. 30 laps to go, coming to 29. Can Reinald catch Kincaid? That is the question that is at the back of everybody's mind here tonight. With one of the faster cars like McCoy out of the race, what does that leave for Kincaid? Can anybody catch Keith in the Darrell Waltrip throwback paint scheme here tonight? Of course, no AJ Vassar in the booth with me here for the race. Probably Monday night. Possibly. We'll have him back in the booth. We'll just have to see. Brett McCoy exits the pit lane. I'm sorry, Brett McCoy went back on the track and went back to the pit lane. Caution is out for Greg Parmalee on the back straightaway. In the beautiful machine there. Unfortunate for him. Slackamo, Greg Parmalee in that beautiful throwback paint scheme. I love like the orange and the blue. It's very nice. Unfortunate though, went off the racetrack. Let's take a quick look at it at the RD Ranch replay. As just spun it out and got hit by Belshaw. Because Belshaw had nowhere to go, saw a spinning car and couldn't really. He could have went high, but just unfortunate for Parmalee. Parmalee was running pretty good there. Was running alongside, I believe it was Belshaw, or I'm sorry, Papineau. He was fighting Papineau for the 6th position on the raceway when the caution came out. The 8th caution of tonight's feature event. Brett McCoy out of the race in 17th spot at the moment. Not going to gain any points on on Keith here tonight. Keith, of course, the points leader coming into tonight's event. Only 1 point ahead of McCoy, 100 laps more than McCoy. Of course, McCoy skipped that 1 week due to work obligations. Nice to see him here tonight, but an unfortunate circumstance for that number 1 machine. Doubling up on the back straightaway here, coming to the green flag. Less than 30 laps to go here in tonight's feature. As we send them back down. Green flag back in the air. Kincaid takes the green as Chris Reinald single files out in second position. 3 wide on the back straightaway. Paul Covington, Chris Farmer, and Ed Papino went 3 wide a little bit there. As the 95 making some moves, I hear a wreck behind him. Looks like Bob Belshaw gets in a Parmalee a little bit there as your 9th caution of tonight's event. And it looks like Belshaw has a huge damage to the right front of that machine, smoking in the rear of the car as well. Going to pull down the pit lane. Let's take a quick look at that. Oh, Todd Holloway was the one that got into Bob Belshaw. Let's take another, back it up a little bit here. Get another look at this. And yeah, those guys were just racing hard. Of course, I knew I heard the 95. I think Belshaw, yeah, he just came up on Holloway. There was really nothing Holloway could do, and just miraculous wreck here. Of course, Rob Cassidy in it. Scott Kingswan got a piece of it there. Unfortunate for Belshaw. Currently sitting in the 15th spot under caution, currently on the pit lane. Keith Kincaid, Chris Reinald, Chris Farmer, Ed Papino. 2 similar colored paint schemes here tonight. Paul Covington in position number 5. Scott Kingswan in position number 6. Todd Holloway, good run here tonight. Position number 7. Position number 8 goes to Rob Cassidy. Parmalee for 9. Patton for 10. Osier for 11, I'm sorry. As we come back to the green flag, once again, let's try this one more time. Green flag back in the air for the late model stocks. 15 laps to go. Oh, big trouble behind him. Tim McDowell, huge wreck inside the fence. Nor have I ever seen that on the sim before. I believe that is race over for Tim McDowell here tonight. Jumps to the pit lane. Andy Patton, I saw, was involved in it as well. Gonna make sure to go to the pit lane. Your 10th caution of tonight's event here at Hickory for Retro Night. Unfortunate circumstances as we take a quick look back at what happened there. Because honestly, it looked like everybody, a bit of a stack up there by the guys in front. And, Gunther just, I don't know if he knew that they were checking up to go into the corner. Who knows, really, to be honest. As, stack up for Rob Cassidy there. Stacked up Patton, and Gunther just drove straight through the back of Andy Patton there. And Tim McDowell was just an unfortunate car that was involved in the incident. Quinn McLean had nowhere to go. Chris Hall had nowhere to go as well. Launched Tim McDowell into the billboard and destroyed the Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series billboard up there in turn number 2. Andy Patton, of course, coming back onto the racetrack here, as I believe that will be race over for Tim McDowell. Belshaw also sits on the pit lane. Quite a few laps down now. There's 11 cars left on the lead lap at the moment, including Andy Patton, who is the 11th car on the racetrack. As green flag back in the air. 10 laps to go here in tonight's feature event. Chris Farmer and Chris Reinhold going at it now. Now it's Ed Papineau to the inside of Chris Farmer for the third position. Coming to 9 laps to go here in tonight's feature. Ooh. Not sure what that was. Sorry for that. iRacing can be a little finicky sometimes. To the inside goes Ed Papineau. Great racing here between these guys fighting for the third spot at the moment. Paul Covington in fourth. I'm sorry, in fifth. As Todd Holloway around in turn number 2. Bringing out your 11th caution of the evening. Tim McDowell gets back on the racetrack. Only 2 cars out of the race so far. Frank Barbary in 18th and Brett McCoy in 17th. And your 11th caution of tonight's feature. Definitely not what we wanted to see here tonight. I wanted to see a clean race, but can't always get what you want. We got this many cars on the racetrack at a time. The most we've had this season, I believe. So, you got everybody going, and it's unfortunate. But let's take a look at the RD Ranch replay here. Todd Holloway and Greg Parmalee were racing there, and it looks like Parmalee just nudged into the back of Todd Holloway to bring out your caution. As Todd safe rejoined onto the racetrack for the number 2 Team Holloway Racing and Graphics number 2 machine. Big thank you to RD Ranch for the replay here tonight. Kincaid and Reinhold doubling up this time by. Lights out on the iRacing pace car. As coming through 3 and 4 once again. Green flag back in the air for Keith Kincaid and Chris Reinhold. 3 laps to go on the board. Who will make the move and seal the deal here tonight in Hickory? 2 laps to go for Kincaid. Can Kincaid seal the deal? Greg Parmalee to the inside of Scott Kingswan for that third spot. Chris Farmer looks to finish the deal. White flag here for Kincaid. As he will not get it done. Keith Kincaid victorious once again here on the Elite Seniors Racing Championship Asphalt Touring Series live from Hickory on Retro Night here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Keith Kincaid victorious here tonight. Chris Reinhold position number 2. Chris Farmer rounds out the top 3. Ed Papineau in 4th. Paul Covington, great run here tonight is in his first time on the DRN. Greg Parmalee, position number 6, great comeback. Rob Cassidy, great comeback in position number 7. Kingswan for 8. Andy Patton for 9. Todd Holloway for 10. Chris Hall for 11. Mark Osier for 12th. 13th is Quinn McLean. Ben Gunther in 14th. Tim McDowell, 15th. Bob Belshaw, 16th. And out of the race, unfortunately, these two, Brett McCoy in 17th, started on the pole. Unfortunate night for him tonight. And Frank Barbary in 18th, rounding out the field. We will take a short break, and then we will talk to your top 3 finishers here in Team Holloway Racing and Graphics Victory Lane. We will be right back after this.
Team Holloway Racing and Graphics is your one-stop vinyl shop. We specialize in RC racing of all scales. We do full-size race cars as well. Have a sign that needs done, vehicles lettered, we can do it. PT Speed Shop. We rebuild quarter-scale motors, break them in, dyno them, and get you back to victory lane. We have a parts store opening soon. Check it out at ptspeedshop.com. Check us out at teamholloway.com. We would love to take care of your vinyl needs.
As your third place finisher here at tonight's feature event, Chris, you looked good out here tonight. Tell us how your race went.
It was a lot of fun. I'd planned on pitting about halfway through that race, but I figured as long as I stayed in third spot or better, I was going to try to hang in there, and it barely paid off. I had a few guys there behind me. I think Ed was on my rear bumper. If we'd had another lap, I think he would have probably gotten me. But it was, overall, I thought in the front of the pack we had some good racing.
Yeah, you definitely had some good racing. You and Ed were side by side for a majority of the runs we had there. How much fun was it to be on the racetrack here tonight? I know you talked a little bit about it just now, but it was definitely a tire-saving racetrack, and it's not really much of tire-saving when you have the cautions like
that. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and the bringing back the retro classic cars, I think, is a great idea. I mean, I tried to put one together myself, but I'm kind of new to trading paints and did the best I could with it, but I still think it's a pretty cool deal.
Yeah, you had a beautiful looking gold and black machine tonight. Family, friends, sponsors, anybody you'd like to shout out for this third place finish here tonight?
I just want to thank all the league, Keith and Rob, and appreciate you broadcasting. You do a good job. Of course, again, thank my wife, and that's about it, I believe.
All right, well, congratulations on your third place finish.
Thank you.
Coming home as the bridesmaid tonight, Chris, position number 2. How was your race, my friend?
Yeah, it was good. It was unexpected. I coming out of the 9th hole, I didn't think I was going to get up to the front, but once I got up there, I just hung with Keith, stayed on it, tried to stay on his bumper as much as I could.
Yeah, you looked good for a majority of the race. How important was tire saving, especially towards the early stages of that race?
Yeah, at the end of the race there, my tires were starting to go away. They weren't as bad as I thought they were going to be, but I was still kind of washing up a little bit.
Yeah, any family, friends, sponsors you'd like to shout out here for tonight's bridesmaid second place finish?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the guys from the league and that put it on. I haven't really been racing much the last 2 seasons, so I'm starting to come back. If I can keep from having some issues at home. I had a flood this week, so that's why I miss Mondays and Tuesdays races. So, but yeah, thanks to those guys for putting this on for us.
Yeah, well, congratulations on your second place finish here tonight, Chris.
Thank you.
As we have the man himself, Heath, yet another victory here on the Asphalt Touring Series.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. I'm ecstatic about this one. Hickory is not one of my better tracks, and you know what got this one for us is just managing tires and staying out, not pitting, keeping that track position, and just saving tires to the end. I was telling Chris Farmer there that I nearly ran my fastest lap on lap 99. So, man, can it be more more happy with our performance tonight.
Yeah, definitely an interesting race when it came to tire management. With the stop and go and the heat in the tires, going away and cooling down and going away, and definitely a interesting race to say the least. And I glad to see this 17 Darrell Waltrip car out here. Tell us a little bit about the car. I mean, besides the fact it's a Darrell Waltrip
Yeah.
car.
So yeah, it's a replica of Darrell Waltrip's car that he ran back in the, I believe, the 90s. I believe it could have been the late 80s. But Darrell Waltrip is local to us here. He's in Franklin, Tennessee, so he's only about 30 minutes away. So, he's originally from Owensboro, Kentucky, but we consider him a Tennessee native. He kind of cut his teeth at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. So it was just great to represent Tennessee drivers tonight and, put that number 17 in victory lane.
All right, lastly, Keith, any family, friends, sponsors you'd like to shout out for tonight's victory in Team Holloway Racing and Graphic Victory Lane?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my parents if they're tuning in, and give a big shout out to my wife for letting me do this. Probably on the computer way too much racing. And also, I told my daughter that I'd give a big shout out to her. So, Maylee Kincaid, when you watch this, I love you. And Owen Kincaid, also my son, love you both. And, just tickled to death to be here. Want to thank MRL for giving us a platform. And it's always great being in Team Holloway Racing and Graphics Victory Lane.
Yeah, you seem to be in there a lot lately. Congratulations on tonight's victory here, Keith.
Thank you, Tim.
As we wrap up tonight's event, we thank you all for tuning in to the Elite Seniors Racing Championship Touring Series presented by RaceMRL.com. We will see you all next week, next Monday night at the Bristol Motor Speedway for 35 laps on tap for the Dirt Late Model Tour, and then that following Wednesday night we'll be at the Martinsville Speedway for 100 laps. Thank you all for tuning in. We will see you next time. Good night, everybody.